What's up, everybody? Ray here, talking a little more Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff today. A little speculation today, right? We had some news, we had some drops, we had the integrated trailer, we had the little snippets from Nomura from that, what was it, Last Soldier live stream they did. But I wanted to talk today, speculating kind of a little bit on what we could get if we get open world. I'm not saying we are getting open world, but I'm starting to lean toward us getting a real open world Final Fantasy VII Remake sequel that does open world right. I know it's asking a lot, right? But before we get into me asking a lot or speculating on a lot, follow me over here at Twitter, Instagram, Kaufman20XX, so you can follow me on there. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Just helps more people see my stuff than wouldn't ordinarily see it. You can help the channel grow. You can have a hand in that. And I appreciate all of you all out there that are sharing the content, that are on Twitter, talking it up, talking me up. I appreciate you all so much. You have no idea. And if you're in the Discord, you know how much I appreciate you. So anyway, let's get into it. So this weekend, Nomura made some comments that, depending on your translation or how the interview was translated, Cloud will be running through the wilderness, or he's going to be in the wilderness of his mind, or he's hunting wolves, or however you translated that interview. I feel like they are giving us little drops, little nuggets of hope that they are going to do real open world with this game. And I say, why not? And not only do I say why not, I say they really need to, because they've shown us Forspoken, right? Forspoken looks like an open world game. For all they've shown us with her running through, if it's not open world, it's at least Final Fantasy 15 levels of open world, like one humongous zone, like one big island or continent, So I think, you're developing this game on PS5. It's time to clear up all the BS, right? They are developing these sequels for PlayStation 5. There's no way they're not. Especially if Intermission can only be played on PS5. That's the smoking gun right there, people. A lot of people have been combating me in the comments saying stuff like, oh no, they said they're not going to develop only for PS5. No, they said at that time they weren't. Go back and read the interview. At that time they weren't. Now they absolutely are. Or you'd be able to play Intermission on PS4. Think, people. Think. I challenge you all to think on this channel. Think outside the box. This is the box. This is outside of it. Think. Intermission is only on PS5 because going forward they're developing everything for PS5. That's just the way it's going to be. So with that being said, I think it would be not only necessary but almost embarrassing if they don't make this open world. You got to think about what all these other companies are doing. Final Fantasy VII, outside of this channel, arguably, within this channel, not arguably, is the greatest game ever made. You're sitting on one of the most critically acclaimed, one of the greatest video games ever made in Final Fantasy VII. Remake, you can say whatever you want to about it. I loved Remake. It was my GOTY of 2020. On this channel, that is law on this channel. That is the truth. That was the GOTY of 2020 on this channel. So y'all can say what you want. You're sitting on the GOTY of 2020, right? There's no way any responsible managers, developers, anything would not make this an open world adventure. Because you have the whole world of Gaia. You've got this world map. There's a few different ways you can do it. It doesn't have to be Skyrim, right? It doesn't have to be The Witcher 3. But you do need to be able to traverse the world map. You do need to be able to interact with things and maybe even see the creatures as you're approaching them. Not so much random battles, which I think they will do that. They did it in Remake. You're not going to have... I've seen people talk about random battles on a world map. They're not doing that. That day is done. That day is gone. It'll be like Remake. You could see the things as you're approaching them. You leave the zone, you come back, they respawn if you want to grind. But I think open world map, and it gives you a lot of options for things you can do. A cave here, an enemy camp here. You know, there's all different things you do. And in the last video I put out, we talked about the possibility of deep ground cells. They're introducing deep ground. Now, we don't know for sure what the fate of deep ground is going to be just yet. My hope is that deep ground as a faction gets out of Midgar at the end of intermission. I hope that's part of what Nomura's talking about when he says, you know, the sequel will pick up right after Intergrade. I'm hoping that means deep ground leaks out into the world and sets up little installations, little camps. You know, deep diving into like a cave, a random cave that wasn't there in OG. You go in, it's a secret boss fight. Maybe one of the civets. Maybe they create new civets. You know, just like I think they'll create soldiers for the sole purpose of having like a secret boss battle here or in this place, camps of Shinra troops out in the world, you know, like with a soldier 3rd, 2nd, or 1st class heading up the regiment, you know, and you have to battle them. The possibilities are endless for open world on this game, people. I'm really excited for that. I'm also excited for not just the old creatures, but new creatures. Like, look what they did with Hell House, right? Look what they did with Hell House and made it like a secret boss. Like, think of, was it Sandworm? Or it wasn't Big Worm, it was Sandworm. The thing you fight on the beach, the big worm, I think it was a Sandworm. You know what I'm talking about, those battles. That could be a secret boss, like in a beach area somewhere. That could be a hunt. What if you had hunts in this game? Final Fantasy XII, I love Final Fantasy XII. The best part of Final Fantasy XII was the hunts. Going on the hunts, different marks. What if you had different marks you could hunt down in Final Fantasy VII Remake sequels going forward? To add more meat to the game. People call those fetch quests. I don't think they're fetch quests. Those are challenging side quests. Give us more stuff like that. Like the behemoth in the underground facility in Remake. That was fun. Give us more of that. Open world could be fantastic if you give us things like that. And customization options. Let us find things in the world to help us soup up our gear, soup up our armor, soup up our materia. Because I think you're going to have a function where you can, you know, enhance your materia. You know, kind of like Crisis Core a little bit in that respect. So I think one of the cool things you could do is if in open world you get like little rumors about, you know, oh, there's this one cave where the materia flows like wine or whatever. And sometimes you go in and you find like this huge deposit of materia. Like it's just this amazing deposit of materia. You can harvest wild materia, make more powerful materia with it by going to these different locations. But sometimes you go there and you don't find any materia. You just find a big monster you have to fight, like a secret boss battle. And you get like some cool stuff you can harvest off of the beast's corpse or whatever to make better weapons, make better accessories and armor. The possibilities are endless. I really hope. My hope is that they really go in on this. I've got so many other ideas for open world. That's just scratching the surface. I don't want to make like a 45-minute video talking about all of them, but I think open world, if you go with like hidden areas, enemy camps, stuff like that to just scatter throughout the world, not to even mention all the new towns and locations we're going to get, because that's coming. Modeoheim, we're getting that. Benora, we're getting that. All that stuff is going to be in the world now. Where they plot it on the map will be interesting, because I don't think it's super specific in Crisis Core where those places are. I could be forgetting that. That's possible. I have forgotten a lot about Crisis Core when it doesn't come to the core characters. I need to go back and play. I've only played that twice. So over the 14 years of its existence, but I think open world could be a really just amazing get for Square Enix on Final Fantasy VII Remake. And honestly, it's going to be embarrassing if they don't do it. It will be embarrassing if they don't do it. Because if you don't do open world in Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'll be fine, like the sequel, I'll be fine with it. either way, I'm here for the story and the characters. That's what I'm here for. But I want to get the most I can out of each game. If the theory that I have is correct, and they are building the world right now, they are structuring the entirety of the world right now, then it only makes sense that they're going to go full open world with this thing. Now, they're going, well, story points will stop. Wherever the story for the sequel stops, they'll have some kind of like border or some reason why you can't go further into the world. You won't be able to traverse past this continent because you don't have this vehicle, you don't have the high wind, or something like that, right? And I don't think you will have the high wind until game number 3. Because, well, anyway, I don't want to get off topic. That'll be something for another video. I don't think you'll get the tiny Bronco, you'll get the buggy, but I don't think you'll get the high wind until game number 3. That'll be something very special for game number 3. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what you all think about that. Throw your comments below in the video. Let me know what you all think about that. Throw a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on my social media up here, and as always, you all be good to each other. Stay safe out there and keep rocking. I will see you in the next video or live stream.